each candidate with 2 minutes for an opening statement. Dennis?
Thank you, and thank you for having us here today. My name is Dennis Vashon, and I'm a candidate for Stratford County Register of Deeds on from the Democratic Party. This forum is not unfamiliar to me because I've been here many times before, having represented Milton 6 years out of the 10 years I served in the New Hampshire House because of different districts at different times I was here. And during my time in the legislature, I served 2 terms on the Commerce Committee and 3 terms on the Committee on Ways and Means. One of my passions and one of the focuses of my terms in the legislature was school funding, and my belief that the state needed to play a larger role in the funding of education so that we could take some of the burden of that off of the local property tax. I've been a real estate lawyer for 25 years. I've been a real estate broker for 8 years. And when I think about the job of Register of Deeds, there's 2 things that come to my mind. The first thing is the need to make sure that only those documents that meet the proper legal requirements are recorded. And the second thing is the safeguarding of the public funds that are collected in fees and recording fees and transfer taxes, and to make sure that they are properly safeguarded and timely turned over to the proper authorities. The county gets a quarter of the money we collect in transfer taxes. That's where all this money comes from that the Registry of Deeds makes, really, and the other 3/4 goes to the state of New Hampshire. One of the other things that I think about with this job in a larger context than just what goes on at the registry is the public advocacy that the role can play, and I intend to use the position to advocate for real estate related issues. One of the big issues right now for me is the fact that the LCHIP program has been non-funded for the next 2 years by the legislature. And the shame of this is the fact that there's a dedicated fund that was created in 2007 with a fee of $25 for each deed, mortgage, discharge of mortgage and plan that's recorded. There's a dedicated fund that's supposed to go to LCHIP, but then the legislature keeps coming in and raiding that money. So I'm interested in, I have a wide range of professional experience, and I'm the only candidate here that has prior elected public office, and I ask for your support.
Good afternoon. My name is Lynn Williams. I'm the current Deputy Register of Deeds for Stratford County. I am fortunate enough to be able to run for this position, and I feel that I am the strongest candidate by far. I have been there for 25 years. I've been there prior to Registrar Lessard being there 22 years ago. And I am fortunate enough to have been able to work with Leo for the last 22 years. For 14 years, I have been his deputy registrar. I know the people of this county. I've seen the people of this county every day. They come into my office, and every day I am a blessed person because I get to help them and work with them. I am fortunate to be able to be running. I would not be able to be running without the support, first and foremost, of my family, of my husband and my mother, who are my biggest backers. I am a lucky person. What I want to tell you about the Registry of Deeds, Leo summed it up very nicely by saying we take in more than we spend on our budget. We take in a lot of revenue for the county. We take revenue in for the state, we take revenue in for the county. I believe that running for Register of Deeds covers a broad range of spectrums that we have to be very careful about. First and foremost is technology. We have records in our office that start in 1773, when Stratford County broke off from Rockingham County. Those records from 1773 up until present day are retained by us in some format that constantly has to be innovated to keep up with technology. We no longer make paper books. They are in a technology format, and it is able to be seen by the internet. You have to be able to look out for the people, look over the technology, and know the dynamics of the office, which I do know very well. I work with these people every day, and as Leo said, they are the best of the best in our office. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Kevin McEnany, And I'm from Dover, born and raised in Dover. I went to Dover schools. I married my high school sweetheart. We're going to be celebrating our 35th wedding anniversary next week. I have 3 grown children. They all live around the world, actually. I've been in the surveying profession for 35 years. I'm licensed in 4 states. I've been licensed for 30 years. I'm licensed in 4 states, in New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, and Colorado. And I think because of that experience as a land surveyor, obviously I'm dealing with land transfers, plans, subdivisions, all of those issues that you would look at from the other side of the counter that Lynn is on and Leo is on. So I come to this as a customer, which I think I bring unique perspective to, and I think I can bring some innovation and some ideas into that position that I've witnessed in other registries around the state and around the country. I've probably worked in 25 or 30 different registries in the 4 different states, and I think I've known what works and what doesn't work, and I think I can bring that to the position. I do understand that it's a great source of revenue for not only the state but the county, and the county commissioners certainly look towards the registry to offset some of those rising costs. And I think Lynn is absolutely correct about keeping the technology and the efficiency of the office right up to par with the current technology. I just want to tell you that I'm running as an independent candidate. I think that's the most appropriate venue and position for me to run, because if there's a more nonpartisan position in the county government, I don't know of one except for perhaps the probate. So I think I bring a unique perspective, and I'd like to have your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one prepared question. Each year the Registry of Deeds collects more money than it uses. With revenues being needed by the county to balance its budget, does it make operation of the registry harder?
Quite frankly, I don't know that I understand the question. The question seems to be saying that because you're making more money than it costs you to do it. I guess I really don't understand the question, but it is true that the Registry of Deeds takes in more money than it spends to do it, and the reason is because it's a tax collecting agency. It collects the real estate transfer tax, and so on average, I believe the number is something between $425 and $450 million is returned in excess of what the costs of running the operation are. And that's a good help for the county to have that money. It's a big source of the additional revenue the county needs. And I'm sorry, but I still just don't understand the question.
To speak to that, last year, I believe the numbers returned to the county were just over $1 million over and above what it cost us to run the registry. When you run the registry is going to be busy in different ways at different times. I've been there through 3 recessions. When I began in 1987, it was ugly like no one has ever seen it around here. We have come the full circle. Watching this recession come, I have watched foreclosures. I have seen people I know lose their homes. I have helped people at the counter that I know, begrudgingly, only because you feel so bad for them. We will make money in the registry. Sometimes we will make a lot, sometimes we will not make a lot. But the county has needs as well. We are a workhorse of the county. We take what we need to run the office. Some years it takes a little more, sometimes it does not. But as Leo said, this year in 2012, we have the same budget as we did 8 years ago. I challenge anyone to find a business that can say that with less people. It says something about the people that I work with. They are over and above the top. Sometimes it's easier to manage if you make more money. It's a wonderful world like any other business. Sometimes it isn't, and that's when the difficult decisions need to be made. Whether it's cutting back on supplies. I do the ordering the supplies, I know, and I try not to give Leo a laundry list. Of course I give him a wish list like Christmas. It doesn't work that way. So depending on what the year is, what comes in terms of economy, that can dictate how we have to run the office.
I believe the question that was asked gets to the point that because it's such a valuable revenue source, that maybe there would be more pressure under the Register of Deeds to cut staff to a level that you wouldn't be able to provide the proper service, and you wouldn't be able to be as effective as you should be. I think the most important thing to understand with the Register's Office and the registry is the retention of those records for everyone to look at. Any transfer of property in the state of New Hampshire, whether any mortgages, any liens, all of that research gets done by title abstractors through the Register of Deeds. If those documents are not properly handled, regardless of what the budget items are, I think that the budget should be driven by what the needs of the registry are, not what the needs of the county and the state revenue is.
Does anyone in the audience have any particular question for the candidates for Register of Deeds? Not seeing any. I'll give each candidate a closing statement.
Thank you. I think that when you look at the Office of Register of Deeds, you have to put it in the context of the county government. The Register of Deeds is a part of the team that runs the county. And it's important for the Register to have the same governing philosophy as the other people who are running the government. And because of my experience as a real estate lawyer and the years I have spent in the legislature working on policy issues and providing leadership on various issues, I would bring to that to the leadership table a full set of skills to help them to run the county government. And I would be an integral part of that team. My fear is that when you elect people to a county position who have never held public office before, you not only do not know their views on government, you also don't know if they can contribute to that leadership team when they get there. Will they just be taking up a place at that table, or will they be providing something to the process?
There have been over 2.6 million pages of documents recorded with my office since my tenure 25 years ago. If in January, after the new Registrar of Deeds is sworn in, and there is a crisis or an emergency, I let you ask either candidate, it doesn't matter if you are a Democrat or a Republican, what are you going to do? Where is the first phone call? Where do you point the finger? I wrote the plans, I wrote the active shooter policy for my office in case of an emergency in the courthouse. If there is destruction to those records, I wrote the policy on the first calls to make and where to put everybody so that we can account for these records and maintain their safety. I know where they are, I am accountable for that. I've worked with a wonderful group of people. I am one of them. I worked with them, I held hands with them, and if I make mistakes, you better believe I am held accountable for it. There is no I in team, but I am part of a wonderful group that has been led by Mr. Lassard for over 2 decades now. I'm proud to say that. I would love to continue the work that I have helped do. I am not an outsider. I don't own another business. I don't have political interests. I don't like running for office. I like doing my job. That's what I would love to continue to do with a group that I love doing it with. I thank you. I thank Milton for allowing us to have the opportunity here. Thank you all.
In addition to being a licensed land surveyor in 4 states for 30 years, I've also been a small business owner for 25 years. So I have some hands-on management experience. Prior to owning my own business, I ran the Thomas F. Moran Engineering Company office in Dover, and that had 15 employees. So I'm very familiar with management and what the importance of management and effective budgeting is. I can tell you that I think it's sometimes it may be better if you're coming into this position where you haven't served as an elected official. Because I don't see this as an election. I mean, I'm surprised it's elected, to be honest with you. If it wasn't in the RSAs, it should be just an appointed job or, you know, qualification job, but it is an elected job. So I think the management of that, which is exactly what the register is, he's a manager, or she's a manager. It's not that you're going to be doing everything hands-on day to day, but you have to do the management position, and I think I'm well qualified to do that. I can tell you that when Leo first ran, I was his fiscal agent, and I told him when he decided not to run to let me know. I didn't realize it was going to be 22 years, that he was going to wait that long. I thought maybe a few, but I appreciate that, and I have to tell you that I agree with what Lynn and Leo says. The Stratford County Registry is by far the best run registry in the state, and I want to continue that, and I want to continue the efficiency with new technology, and I look for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our 2012 candidate forum. Thank you.
Would you please hold the microphone to your own lips and thank yourself for being moderator? Wow.